Ladies and gentlemen, it feels
Boys and
as though
girls.
it's 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's not. Welcome back to another episode of For the Most Part podcast. And obviously we've had this guy on on several episodes, and Jehiah for me is like the go-to guy if you want to get like
Random
information.
information.
Yeah, he's like the facts man. He's the facts man. So I told Jehiah, I said, Jehiah boy, this is scene. We're gonna talk popularity of Afrobeats, and he actually mentioned K-pop as well, and kind of just see what opinions we could come up with in terms of, I don't want to say competing in the industry, but getting more well known. I guess I don't know if that's the right way to be assimilated into. That's the term I want to say. Being able to
Assimilate.
assimilate ourselves
We are the
into
boat.
the yeah. So before we start the thing, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, although they know about you, but it's always good that the people hear it from you because I could over exaggerate. I could say Jai is the greatest flautist on the face of this planet. You see, that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. So I'm gonna let Jehiah. I'm gonna let Jehiah.
Yo. um. So hi, my name is Jehiah. Yeah. So I flautist, music educator, music producer, arranger, composer. Um, a little bit of bassist. Teach guitar. I teach flute as well, but I tend to have more guitar students than flute students
Right.
for some unknown reason. But yeah, that's generally it. Anything else outside of that is need to know.
Mm,
Not really. It's just I don't see it as important. I mean, play video games, watch nonsense on YouTube, typical stuff.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks for telling us about that. So I want to talk a little bit first about the J4 project, if you don't mind, because I like how, as we were talking about this before, and I find my video looking a little too up in my face now, boy. So, um, I like the direction that you're going with this. It's literally just you and the instruments that you play, and you're taking basically, I would say classics, and really kind of putting your own flavor to it. But explain the
Flavor the
entire
Patrick, man.
explain how you ended up in this, how you ended up doing this. What was the
So
driving force?
what so a lot of times, as a musician is like you want to play music with other people.
Mm,
Right, but what happens a lot of times is that everybody is busy. Everybody has different schedules, even though it'd be like, yeah, we could do a thing, but sometimes that end up taking months to happen and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, you've done it before, but it was more like I would record all of the actual background music and everything, and then just do the video of myself playing the flute over the
right.
song. So I was
Mm,
like, let me try the route of showing people, okay, I'm actually playing these various instruments, but stick to the physical instruments that I have instead of
mm,
adding in, any of the virtual instruments that I have. So the whole idea is to just have, well, technically 4 instances of myself playing 4 different instruments.
right,
Um,
right, right, right.
so in doing that now, I was like, okay, you know what? It's 4 of me, J to the fourth power, J4, you know, thing. Um, so far, I've done one song, and well, by the time you all see this video, it would be two.
Right.
Um, it's a lot of work and not much work at the same time, because The second video took way longer than I expected just to record.
Mm.
Um, but song's good for what it is. Actually, was looking to start editing the video today for tomorrow. Hopefully that doesn't take all day as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool project because one, it forces me to now deconstruct a song and see how best I can get it done on 4 instruments alone. And yeah, some cases it might have 5 instruments, but that might just be a little extra percussion or something. Not to say it's
Right,
like
right,
a
right, right.
whole extra full instrument taken on a whole lead by itself or anything. So generally it's just percussion, bass, guitar, flute. That's it. If at some random point, I get a whisper in my ear to tell me, hey, Jehiah, try and sing. I might sing.
Might,
But
might with a
don't
capital MIGHT.
yeah, might. Like underscored in italic,
Bold.
every in bold. Cause yeah, that will be very rare. So we will see.
We'll see how
But
that
yeah,
goes.
so it really forces me into the space of okay, deconstruct the song on how best I can do it on these 4 instruments alone. So I now have to think about where to place certain things, what to remove entirely. Like, okay, that's not possible to do. Take that out. Don't fight up with that.
Right,
So yeah,
right, right, right.
so that's basically it. Videos will be coming out every 2 weeks because yeah, I might be able to do it once a week, but because you could do something, that means you should.
Should. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good point. That's a real good point.
yeah,
That's a real good
because
point.
yes, that's basically it.
All right. Well, now that we know what you're up to and how in detail this project is for you, let's talk a little bit more about like what you think the okay, so I want to phrase this question correctly, right? What do you think
Mhm.
is the current state of music? And you could answer that broadly in a very general sense in terms of the topics that we outline, in terms of
Mhm.
Afrobeats and as well as the K-pop. And then we'll
Mhm.
kind of we'll dig into the little what we feel might be the statistics. And
Mm.
again, ladies and gents, this is just an
This
opinion.
is
These are all opinions.
speculations and
High
opinions.
speculation.
Alright, don't get up on your feelings. And if you get in your feelings, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah. Um, hmm. What I currently think. Honestly, I am all for it, because I mean, there's been decades of music coming out of the continent of Africa.
Right, right.
Like, decades of music. I mean, you can find music from East Africa, Sub Saharan Africa, West, Central, South.
Hmm.
It's like there's been so much music coming out of those areas. But currently we are now seeing the radio play of a lot
Mm.
of Afrobeats and stuff, which is generally out of Nigeria and Ghana.
Right, right,
Right.
right, right, right.
And you're also getting a little smidges of Angolan music inside here ever so often. Because recently, when I did the first J4 video, somebody actually suggested that they wanted me to do a song, and I'm listening to the songs like, yo, this is, like, where did they hear
Yeah.
this song? And I'm like, because I know this song from the realm of dancing. So
Right.
it's like, and generally is that particular dance is called Kizomba, and that's an Angolan dance. So it's like, okay, y'all heard the song somewhere. All right, cool.
Mm.
So with that now is that you're hearing a lot of the rhythms that they use is very similar to a lot of the rhythms you use in the Caribbean. Duh.
Mm.
You have,
We're cousins, I mean.
yeah. I mean, you have things like samba that you generally hear and compa stuff like that. So you're hearing those rhythms that you're accustomed hearing, so it's nothing different per se. It's
Yeah.
just the manner in which the lyrics and the artists move on the particular music is different.
Hmm.
So that is why it's, to me, why it's now getting very popular and stuff. Because I mean, I've been listening to Afrobeats many years before. I mean, last night, well, whenever you'll see this video, last night was Burna Boy concert in Tobago with all the rain. And I know people harassing people that, oh, they're gonna spend all that money just to sing one song, which is the only song they know is Last Last.
That's yeah.
And I was like, but the thing is, he has so much music from so many years before.
Oh,
Like, you can just sit down and listen to Burna Boy whole day. That's
right,
how
right,
much
right, right.
music he actually has. But from off of him now, there are so many other artists that have music out there.
For
For
years, for years.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you have, what's his name again? I keep forgetting his name. Is it Davido? Is Davido? Can't remember his name. But there are some artists that who I know their music from Kizomba and doing that dance. And I was like, hey, they're still around. Cool. Then you have people like Thames.
True. Thames is a
Right.
big one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, just before we came in, I was listening to Thames with featuring. No, I keep forgetting people's names today, and I don't like it. And Brent Fires, or
Right,
however it's
right,
pronounced
right.
his last name. I just pronounced it as Fires because that was looking like to me.
Yeah.
If I'm pronouncing it wrong, well, you all could correct. But so Thames has been out there making music with other people. Burna Boy has been out there making music with other people for some years now. He has quite a few songs with Ed Sheeran. He has, I think, a song with Georgia Smith. He has a song with LMI. I think some of them also have some songs with Stormzy, who's another artist he's from England, but
Right.
he was big for some years, and they're like, where he come out from? But when you
Right,
check,
right.
he has music from years before. So it's like a lot of these artists just have music there bubbling and cooking. And then when, for some, the one random song that makes it across to the US that gets popular there, then it trickles back here into the Caribbean.
Yeah, right.
Which is
because I was gonna ask why do you think that's happening? Why is it that it's now trickling? What is the cause for the trickle? What do we think is the cause for the trickle?
social media.
Okay. TikTok and that kind of thing.
TikTok, yeah, because a lot of songs are getting popular now is because people using them for videos on TikTok.
Right. Makes sense.
And it's like, hey, what's this song? And they go looking for the song, and then it's like, hey, I really like this song. And then because of all the algorithm and all of the data scraping as we going on,
Analytics.
you listen, on all those analytics, you listening to a song on TikTok, you find it, you go on looking for it on YouTube. It's like, hey, I really like this song. Next thing you know, for some reason, Spotify just slide that song into your mix and you even know where this come from. Or if you're on Apple Music and it's just like, but where the song come from? Right? So now you have a lot of people more so listening to a lot of Burna Boy music and all of the other artists who are linked to him. And I'm happy for it because it's like, hey, the man had a whole album called The African Giant and he's proven it.
Yeah. For real.
And yeah.
Okay, so on the side now of K-pop, so and I know a lot of people are probably saying, so why are they talking about K-pop? But this is actually a very good point because I was actually kind of blind to K-pop, more so because I don't listen to K-pop and I don't listen to Afrobeats per se either. But
you should.
That I know, but that's besides the point. The reason why we bring up K-pop in this conversation is because I'm assuming it's because you think, or it is factual that they're basically just kind of taking over. I wouldn't say mainstream, but social media.
But social media, and you'll be surprised to see how many fans they actually have.
Mm.
I
Would you say it
mean,
has anything to do with anime? Because I know a lot of.
no,
Okay.
no, it has nothing. That's the beautiful thing about it. It has nothing
Okay.
to do with anime. It
Okay.
has
Good.
everything to do with marketing.
Mm. Okay. What do you think is the marketing
Because
strategy, and how you think we
it
could
is
apply it?
government run marketing.
Oh, say they have no choice but to run it.
Not really that I have no choice, but from what I understand, how this whole thing came up, and this was like many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
is that they decided to double down on their creative industry.
Mm.
And one of the, once again, if I am incorrect, feel free to correct me, all right? But from what I understand, is that they created a lot of these boy bands and girl bands and whatever, basically more or less in the shape of like how NSYNC and Backstreet Boys was back in the
Right.
90s,
Spice
and
Girls
Spice
and
Girls
girls.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
all of those things. So they took about, I mean, one of the larger groups is that everybody knows is BTS.
Oh yeah.
And the
That's
whole
true.
BTS army, and I have a few friends who are in that BTS army thing.
I'm in no army right now, so I
Good,
can't.
good
I
for
can't
them.
help anybody.
And so I tend to get secondhand information as what is going on and whatever. And when they doubled down on this, they made sure that here's what they made sure to train them how to dance, how to sing, fashion wise, everything. Some of these artists that from this K-pop thing were not singers or artists or musicians at all. Some of
Mm.
them just had the look. All
Right.
right. So like, here's what, you ready? Could model, you already have the look. All right, so we're gonna teach you how to sing and dance. Or you could dance already, but you can't sing. Are you gonna teach you how to? So, and then they put them together now for them to mesh and work with each other and everything. And then
Hmm.
the marketing team is insane, because I think was late last year or early this year, BTS released a CD. How often do you hear of anybody releasing a
A
CD and
CD.
people buying it?
You saw my reaction. I'm like, a CD.
A
In my
CD.
mind, I would be like, you release your whole your thing on iTunes or Apple Music, Spotify. Like
It,
that's the thing.
it, it, it reached there after
Oh,
they released a CD. And then there was a particular CD player that matched the aesthetic of the CD.
so I'm
So
assuming they
then,
went vintage then.
so people went and buy the CD player to play the CD.
Let me
Simply
tell. Hold on. Let's pause for
because
a cause, right? Let's pause for a
marketed.
cause. I would like to pause for a cause, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
pause for a cause on the point of the CD player. So I want to I'm going to make out my whole age right now, right? I am a '90s child. I'm not telling you the year that I was born. However, I was probably about 7 or 8 when I got a Walkman. All you know what a Walkman is? I don't know if many of you all know what a Walkman is. However, I got a Walkman. There was 2 types of Walkmans. One that had like one of those diskette things, and one that
Mm-hmm.
had these actual CDs. I had both. I got the Walkman with the CD. That was a long time ago. The last time that I used one of those, it's probably a good. I don't
Good
want to
while.
make a. I don't want to make
Good
out
while.
the age,
It's a good
but
while.
beyond the 15-year mark. So let's
Yeah.
just leave it at that. So okay. So what do you think is your reason why they went about that style of marketing? Because that's interesting. There's a lot of
Because
people would maximize so Facebook, YouTube, a
they
CD of
basically
all
have
things.
their own social media for BTS and all of their artists.
Okay.
I think they call it Weavers or something like that, and I've already looked into it. I just see it popping up because of my friends.
Right.
Right. So they have that. And then I think BTS didn't release an album for some years. He was
Okay.
getting those singles, but no actual album. So they were like, here's what, we release an album, but we're releasing it as a CD.
Hmm.
So, and it came with is a CD. You can buy the CD alone. It had a box set. Yes, a box set for music. Yeah. They decided, here's what we going and use, the 90s marketing strategy
I mean,
in
okay, so
2022,
now
and
I
it
know
worked.
I want to now point out something, and this is for a lot of people who not really paying attention, right? And this is, I don't want to sidestep the point of this podcast, but I'm making it out because it is something that is interesting and I'm noticing it. If any of you have really been following a lot of social media, vintage games have come back. They have taken over. Anybody with an NES system,
Mhm.
Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, the PS1 come straight up. Xbox One from Xbox, the Xbox 360 coming straight down the road. Each and every single one of those systems are now worth a couple $1,000s, well,
Mhm.
inclusive of the Game Boys and
Mhm.
any of the little paraphernalia that come with it, even down to the Switch,
Yep.
the Wii system remotes. So there's something there, and I understanding it now. There's some kind of vintage something. There's
There's
something
a
about
there's
that.
a whole aesthetic thing going on where people are now, how to put it, like you would even see them in YouTube videos sometimes where there's like playlists of music for you know feeling like you're back in this particular age and group,
Yep.
and
Same thing with
this.
all the major playlists. Apple has a
Mhm.
whole set 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s
Yep.
included in there too.
So it's like their whole marketing strategy was, it's like when you watch it, it's like, so this is all 90s kind of vibe,
Mm.
and people my age and younger and older are buying into it because one, BTS has good music. I might
Right.
even listen to it, but the little bit I hear is like, okay, no, this is well produced, it is well structured. I don't know
Hmm.
what they're saying because they're singing Korean and I don't know Korean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah.
you know, musically it's nice,
Mm.
right? I mean, yes, you have the hyper fans who be like, oh my god, look at them dancing, ting, ting, ting. And I'm like, what's it? And they're like, shoot, see, look how they're dancing and the choreography. And I'm watching it like, you're my age, so you grew up in the 90s, right?
Please,
You
yeah.
realize this is
Yeah.
just like
This is a
Backstreet
copy and
Boys
paste.
and
This is a
you
copy and
know
paste. Yeah, yeah,
and kind of
yeah.
Michael Jackson kind of moves. There's like it's nothing new,
Mm.
but you know I'm gonna ruin the fun for anybody.
Yeah,
And if
fair
they're
point.
enjoying it and they're not harming anybody, I'm cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, it's interesting because they have fans globally. They
Mm.
have musicians reaching out to work with them. I mean,
Mm.
up to recently, I think Anderson Paak did a song with them. Um, Benny Blanco did a song with them. Trying to remember everybody. I think Snoop Dogg did a song with them as well.
We'll find out. We'll Google it and
Yeah,
find out.
yeah. So it's like the marketing strategy of what is going on in South Korea is where they decided, here's what we're going to take our artistry and musicians and everything and push them. And it
Mm.
was government funded. And that is something that I think I brought up talking to you at one point or somebody else where I'm
Yeah,
pointing
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah, yeah. Government
if
funding is
because of
critical.
how Trinidad is set up and the amount of musicians and musicality and all of that we have in this one two island nation, and then
Mm.
mix it up.
People from Tobago must be watching. You're like, bruh,
Don't
how?
worry, dude. Hey, still over there. But anyways, if that model was copied across here and adjusted for whatever things that we have here, who knows, you might be seeing the same thing.
Mm.
I
Mm.
mean, it took
Mm.
time because I can't remember how long ago they started that in Korea, but I know it took time because I know there were other bands that came out and they fizzled away and they It had some that were there, still there, but not really functional, and
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's been a whole process.
Hmm.
But because they were like, yo, this is our goal, this is what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, if you have artists from your country flying out, coming back in, making that bank,
True.
which I think
True.
was the goal of Music TT. I think it still is, but
What we could do
we,
is we can find out, because
yeah,
I don't want to assume that what we're saying here is true.
yeah.
It
Because
would be
right now
good for
I'm
us.
trying to remember.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm a,
yeah, 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 yeah. I think that's a good point. It's good to find out like what are some of the ventures that exist in Trinidad and Tobago, and what is their purpose. I don't say what was, because a
Mhm.
lot of these things still function. The question is what we doing. All I want to know is what we doing.
Mhm.
You know, um. So let's backstep a little bit now. Now that we kind of have a sense as to what the whole K-pop situation is, and government funding, and
Mhm.
we know that the Afrobeats kind of taken over the radio by storm. What do you think is some advice you could give to, let's say, creators like us who not necessarily want to compete, but we want to be in the mix,
Will be
get
in
our
the
foot,
mix.
yeah, put our foot in the water, start to be in the party a little bit. What would you say to these people? What is your advice?
Um, Build a time machine, go back about 5 years. No, but seriously, it's a good and a bad thing to try and ride trends,
Right. Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because sometimes you might hop onto a trend a little too late. Because
Ah.
I
Yeah.
remember when Afrobeats was coming up, people was like, nah, this thing gonna pick up. And then it picked up, and all people were like, yo, like now scrambling to,
To, to,
make
to get onto it.
it
Yeah.
onto
Yeah.
it. Because there have been little, like, signs that it was picking up for many years. I mean,
Mm. Mm.
you
Mm.
had people like Drake. Blech, Drake.
Yeah. Drake. That's
He had a
Drake.
little Afrobeats little sounding thing.
Yeah.
Even had some of our local artists had a little Afrobeat sounding thing. I think even up to either this year or last year, Carnival, I had somebody who had was supposed to be a soca, but when I really listened to it, it was like a compa.
It was
Yeah,
like influenced.
yeah. It's
Afrobeats
like you're listening
influenced.
to it and you're like, hey, you could go and dance a little compa or samba with it, instead of
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I mean, people would still stamp on little slow wine and things it, but so it's been there. It has always been there. The music has been there. It's just that now it's taken up a lot of popularity. It will give a lot of more people more airplay.
Mhm.
Now, yes, because we're from the Caribbean, it would be easy for us to easily shift into producing that kind of style of music.
Right. Right.
Not very hard. See, I'm not saying producing music is easy, but because coming out from the soca and the groovy soca, to easily shift into the Afrobeats thing is not a big step across.
Yeah. Makes sense. That makes sense.
So if it is you wanna get in on it, you could do that production wise.
Right.
Artist
Makes sense.
wise, more or less the same thing, but once again, getting the music out there, airplay, all of that, stuff like that. That
Mm.
is as a different
So you'd basically say it's more about knowing when to jump on the trend.
when to jump. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So when they say jump and you ask how high, it's
do you
not
even do
it's
you
not
even
so
do you
much
even
about
ask
it's not
do you even
about not
ask how
jumping.
high?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not
This
about not
is
jumping
like
on how high. It's about when the
just jump.
jumping and happen.
Just jump.
It's just about jumping. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Figure
That makes
figure out figure out how to land when you look down.
sense. That's a good point. That's a good point. And that's the thing. I would agree with that point because, for example, Advocate has always said, to me, he's always said, you could see the little talent on thing, and I'm not saying that to big up myself. I'm saying it on the point of, you have an ear, you can try out the Afro soca and soca by extension
Hmm.
and see where it goes. You never to know. You honestly never to know.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Um, if you are into sync licensing, whatever is the trend now, from this, from what I heard from other producers who do that or who are in that business said,
Mm.
is that whatever is the trend now, TV and film tends to be about 6 months behind. So if it is you wanna get like make some kind of bank off of Afrobeats or K-pop sound and music or whatever,
Yeah.
make it now. Because probably 6 months from now, some TV station might be asking for it.
So there may be opportunities sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Most
So
likely.
so like don't expect what you're hearing popular now to be on TV now.
Right. Right.
Unless
Right.
it's like some urban TV station that that's like, yeah, there's what we're pumping. Because even if you check, trap music was popular like really
Yeah.
popular like 2 years ago.
Oh, yep. That blew up. Everybody was doing trap.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Everybody was doing trap. Now, you know, if you're watching like Real Housewives of Atlanta, whatever is the name of the show, a lot
Yeah.
of the music that
Because
they
as of Atlanta, whatever the
yeah
name of the show.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of the music that you hear in their transition scenes and stuff is trap music,
Mm-hmm.
and as episodes are coming out this year and like late last year and stuff. So see the timeline.
Yeah.
It's
So it
so
means you
if
have to get a jump on it now, basically, if
yeah
you want to
basically
really.
if you
Right.
want to
Right.
get if you want to make something out of it but without having to fight up to get a artist or popular artist on it,
Mm.
sure. If you want to get the whole popular artist and thing, find a time machine
Right.
and
Right.
let me
Right.
know
Right.
too when you find it, please.
Yeah. 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 I dare with you. I dare with you. All right. Well, ladies and gents, I think this conversation was really enlightening. I really didn't know much about the K-pop. I'm not a K-pop fan,
It's
and
not, I would say I'm not a fan of it either, but the music is nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like it's nice. You can see where to get the influence.
yeah. True.
Makes sense from nonsense.
Anyways, so we wrap this episode
But
here.
it's good
No,
music. It's good
yes,
music.
I
It's good
agree.
music.
I agree. So we're gonna wrap there today. Jehiah, plug us up. Oh, tell them when we could expect hopefully the next G4 episode. This episode that we're doing right now that we're recording,
Uh-huh.
I'll let you know. So this comes out tonight. So if you're
Oh,
uploading
tonight?
episodes, yeah, tonight,
Like the
28th of October, 2022.
yeah. I was trying to watch my date and I was like, wait, 6 or 8 or soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, well
So
tomorrow.
if you have one coming out soon, you could let them know.
Tomorrow.
Right,
The
great.
29th. It's every Saturday.
Lovely.
So far.
Lovely.
So
So
far.
we will try. I don't know how we're gonna do the link in description thing. We could just always upload the link and then share it to our broadcast list.
Yeah.
We could figure that part out.
Yeah,
We could figure that
because,
part out.
Probably, well, when we're done here, I'm actually gonna start the edit of the video.
Nice.
However long that's gonna take me, I don't know, because yeah,
Things had to be done. Things got to be done.
No, it's just sometimes the editing of the video takes more time than I expect.
Right. Understood. So plug your stuff. Tell the people where they can find you.
So you can find me at just_Jehiah on Instagram and TikTok. I try to use the same. I'm trying my best to use the same handle for everything.
Just_Jehiah on TikTok and Instagram, right?
Instagram. You can also find me on YouTube at Jehiah Hope. I think the Just Jehiah should work there too. I can't remember. Um, Facebook is Jehiah Hope. You'll find me either. You'll most likely find both my musicians page and my personal page. I would prefer that you follow the musician page, even though sometimes that don't really get much touch or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, fair point,
But
fair
I'm
point.
trying. I'm trying through the linkage of Instagram into Facebook. There's also Jazz Productions, Jazz Productions.tt
Right.
on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
those
it. So
pages
I
don't
just
get
drop it
much
in
touch,
here so
but
that people can see
yeah,
Jazz Productions. Hopefully that
.tt.
.tt. Yeah, just put it .tt, guys. And honestly, how he has it spelled there, it's probably gonna just be him alone with that spelling. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna be that complicated.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, yeah, hopefully. Well, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Really appreciate Jai coming on and kind of enlightening us on some stuff. I think there's more to this conversation. There's always more to every conversation that we have, and I really hope that the audience is really enjoying what's coming out because, as I said earlier on in the beginning of season 5, there's a lot more that comes with this podcast aside from just the conversations. You get to connect with these kinds of people. You get to get access, hopefully, to future courses. It's coming very, 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 very soon. And obviously, products and services, especially from some of the people who you come across, you know. So, that's it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see y'all and we will hear y'all on the next one. Peace out, guys. I'll just pretend like it's a vlog.